All right. Well, this is the last cross member that goes in here. I thought what we'd do today is see if we can kind of scope out what this bed needs to look like. So I need to make some uprights so we can get this bolted in. And then I'm going to go hunting for some, I've got a lot of 60s trucks that had wood beds in them. I'm going to go see if I can find a couple of the metal strips and kind of lay it out here. Disadvantage of custom is that the holes in the bed strips on that Chevy probably aren't going to line up with this. But that's okay. We'll weld up the holes. And I'm thinking of welding the bolts in anyway, so it's kind of smoothing it out. All right, let me get after the supports here. All right, bring you back. As I put those front 3 cross members in there, I wanted the bed to be level. And where this is sitting right here, I've got just a little bit of a gap under it. So we need to shim this up. Well, that worked out pretty well. That 3x3 tubing, I forget what we used it for, but that 3x3 tubing seems to work pretty good. That leveled it up pretty good. So all I need to do now is weld some nuts into the bar here, and we'll have the bed floor almost together. Still have to weld up the ends of the beam on both sides. Okay, let me get this marked. I'm gonna weld some nuts in, and let's see what we can do. The good thing about the tapered bits, you can use that next size taper. You want the nut to go through, but you'd like that flange, because I like to use flange nuts. I like that flange to set down below the surface so you can weld it. Let me get the camera down here so you can see that. So, see that nut? I can go just a little bit deeper, because that nut's just slightly below that surface, and when you weld it on there, you can grind it off and everybody's happy. There we go. All right, let's get the other one. Well, it looks like it's time for a new tip. I changed the end on this so I could use Harbor Freight tips. The Lincoln, for whatever reason, the threads on the Lincoln piece, is that a nozzle? They didn't quite line up with the Harbor Freight one, but it's all happy now. Cool. Need to get that ground down, but we need to get some holes. Need to get some holes in our mounts. Now, you might be tempted to make that kind of the right size, but history says every time you take the bed off, it wants to set just a little bit different place. So, though I'm going to put 3/8 bolts in here, I'm going to drill this out to at least 1/2 inch. I'll get back. All right. Well, I got them tightened down and I got them square. Let's flip it over and let's see what we got. I think I've decided that I'm going to set that at 5 inches from this seam. I've been pondering, how I'm going to make this transition to the back. And one option is to just come straight up and across, which is kind of appealing to me because, we're going to lay the wood in here, and I could come up with an angle iron and bolt down on the back side or on the top side of that wood. Around the edges on, wood bed pickups, there's a flange that goes around the edges that actually bolts down the top on top of the wood. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. I don't know. What do you guys think? I even thought about maybe tapering this. For what the truck's going to get used for, I don't know if that's, you know, if I was sliding stuff in and out, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I taper it or come up, you know, maybe even come up here? So this is 1.5 inches high, and I'm gonna put 3/4 boards, so that's 2 1/4. So it'd be basically 2 1/4 rise right here. I don't know. I'm gonna keep on. I'm gonna set this at 5 inches. I'm gonna weld this thing in here, and then I think we're gonna just finish the welding. Right? I'll try to speed through this thing, but we need to weld these ends to the bed and the very front. I noticed I didn't weld the front up, so I got the middles welded. So I need to get up there and weld the fronts. Anyway, let me get some welding. If I start doing a lot of this frame welding, I need to pull out the bigger welder. This little one gets tired. Well, that's interesting. One of those looks like this. Looks like right in here is a little, like an 1/8 inch low, or that one's an 1/8 inch high. It's not much. This side looks pretty good. Off to the side here. Well, that's not much. I don't think it's gonna care. And definitely you're not gonna be able to tell it, but it annoys me. Well, I'm gonna weld the ends up. Okay, so I got it all welded in, and then I went and hunted down some boards and some, some bed rails. These are a little longer. I'm not sure. I think these don't have any holes in them. Seems to me those actually fit. I don't know. Let me get a tape measure. Yeah, those are 67.5 inches. I'm not sure what they fit, but I've been hanging on to them because they didn't have any holes in them. Those are out of the step side, so they're a little longer. They're still a little shorter than this international bed. As in everything else, nothing seems to be standard on this. Anyway, trying to decide where this bed is going to end. So I could end it here and make a step, right? So this would be original bed level, and then come up and a step. Could bring it all the way out to here, right? And make the bed floor level, and then just put a plate underneath the bottom. In both of those cases, there's going to need to be a piece of angle iron or a bent metal there, So this would get routed, the board would get routed, so this would set flush with the top of the board. And then you just bolt it in right there. The other option would be to, you know, well, that didn't work. There we go. Make a ramp and, you know, not have this lip. This surface would come all the way down to here, and then make a ramp that goes up, and go ahead and bend the top of this to serve the same purpose. You know, the angle iron was going to router this board, and that way this would set flush with the top of the boards. I see pluses and minuses to all of them. You know, leave in the comments, you know, what do you think? I don't know yet. The last piece is, you know, if you guys are building old trucks, 50s, and I think into the 60s, but definitely the 50s, the router on this edge of the board actually is shaped like that. All right, so it's like a bead right along the end. Nowadays, most everybody just cuts a shiplap like I've got on this one. This one's too deep, right? That needs to set up. Ideally, this thing should set up just a little bit higher than the bed. That way when you slide stuff in, you're sliding on the steel, you're not sliding on the bed. Well, once again, it doesn't seem like we accomplished a whole lot. It's been a busy weekend. Let me go show you one of the other projects we were working on. Our little Dakota seemed to have a boo-boo. So we have started on, you know, bolting the bed back down, or actually unbolting it, trying to straighten it up, then bolting it down, trying to get it all bolted down square again. I don't know about you, but it looks like to me there may be a little bit of effort go into this one. Just another day in life at Random Rod Shop. You just never know what is going to show up. Well, if you haven't subscribed, you know, hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, I really appreciate it. Leave a like, make a comment. Let me know your thoughts on which way to go on this bed. I'm kind of torn. I don't know. Anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, I'm Random at Random Rod Shop, and we're out of here.